Hello folks, it's the Pacey again. Welcome to another one of my videos. This is another one in the series looking at former bus garages in the Grimsby and Cleethorpes area. In this one we're going to look at Peter Sheffield Coaches of Cleethorpes. So Thomas W.P. Sheffield was born in Louth in 1921. He was known to all and sundry as Peter. He served in Burma in the Second World War. He was awarded the Burma Star, and after the war ended he was demobbed. He returned to Cleethorpes and set up a coach company, Peter Sheffield Coaches, which did like day excursions, holiday tours, things like that, and private hires. They also came to have quite a lot of works contracts, particularly for Scunthorpe Steelworks. A lot of the local coach companies did work for Scunthorpe Steelworks. And the depot was here on Neptune Street in Cleethorpes, where these new houses are. There would have been some workshops all along there. The front of the workshops would have been where the front wall of the houses is. In front of them was a small parking area where you could park coaches lengthways, where the front yards of the houses is now. You can see the older houses there marking the extent of the depot. We just go down Somber Grove here. This was here in the days of the coach company. You can just about see the extent of the depot. So the workshop would have been in the left there where the houses are. And then you've got this alleyway behind, which would have run behind the workshop. There was also an open yard further down where you could park buses in the open, and it extended down beyond the older houses as well. You can see the extent of it. You can see the older wall here, buttressed. So that would have been the extent of the premises. And then across the road there's a little slip road that nowadays gives access to a caravan storage facility. There's sometimes parked coaches and buses on there and on the pavement. There's also some stables up there, bizarrely. They keep the beach donkeys there in the summer during the season. So if you come down here at the correct time in the summertime, you'll see a man leading a load of donkeys along, which is a bizarre sight. You can see the surroundings. It's not the kind of place you would expect to see a load of animals being led. Alfie the Border Collie with me again as usual. So it's lucky the donkeys aren't around, because he'd be trying to play with them all and causing general chaos. This little yard here, which nowadays is a builder's merchant's, it was just an open yard. There wasn't a building on it, but this was an open parking area for Peter Sheffield Coaches as well. It wasn't fenced off, it was just open to the road, and they used to park coaches there in the open as well, opposite the depot. The workshops actually abutted this old terrace, so when they demolished them, they've had to neaten up the end wall of the terrace here. Look, you can see the new bit they've built on it to replace the workshop wall. And we'll just walk down, you can see the extent of the former premises. Peter Sheffield reached retirement age in the mid-80s. In 1987, when he was 66, he sold the business to Grimsby Cleethorpes Transport, GCT, which was a local bus operator. They were still owned by Grimsby and Cleethorpes councils in those days, in 1987. It was a relatively unusual example of a council-owned company buying a private company. Wasn't unique, but it was unusual. And at that point the depot here was closed, and the vehicles were moved into the GCT depot in Victoria Street in Grimsby. You see these signs here, no vehicles over 3.5 tonnes allowed on the driveway. This was part of the premises, one there that's faded as well. As well as full-size coaches and buses, Peter Sheffield Coaches also ran a few minibuses that you could hire for smaller groups, like 12-seaters and that, so they would have been allowed to drive down here. The bigger buses and coaches wouldn't, and this would have led into the back end of the open yard that I mentioned. You can see again the wall there, that would have been the boundary wall of the premises. But yeah, 1987, sold to GCT, and this depot was closed and redeveloped, as we've just seen, with some new houses. So as always, thank you for joining us. Take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.